Well, as we keep an eye on politics, the General Assembly has just 5 days left to reach a deal on the so-called Megaprojects bill, which would enable the Bears to build a new stadium in suburban Arlington Heights, or entice them, rather. One version passed the House. The bill is now in the Senate, but a new study by the Cook County Treasurer's Office underlines some growing concerns about the impact the bill could have on the county's property tax base and state's overall fiscal health, because it would involve more than just a Bears stadium overall. Researcher Hal Dardick joining me now to talk more about this study. And Hal, I know there's a lot to unpack here. A lot of information.
It's a huge bill, 370-some pages.
Right. So we're going to try to at least give viewers some sort of understanding of what you looked into. And to start, let's start with the tax impact of this bill. Your study acknowledges it's hard to actually know what the market value of this particular Bears stadium will be, because nothing else like it exists here. But you estimate the bill will likely allow the Bears to save tens of millions of dollars every single year, while not guaranteeing the taxes that the team pays will be enough to cover enhanced services and needed services as a result of a new stadium. So how did you get to that figure, and do you want to elaborate on that at all?
Yeah, a lot of folks assume the stadium will be worth $2 billion. It won't be worth $2 billion because that will include labor and financing and fixtures, which the property tax system does not tax in the state of Illinois. So a conservative estimate that we actually got from one of the foremost sports economists in the country, Jeff Profiter, was $675 million. And based on that, what the tax would be if there were no breaks would be 39, actually it would be more than that. It would be, I have the figure right here, it'd be $53 million a year.
If there were no breaks.
That's right.
Okay.
And the way that the system's structured, assuming the Bears make a $10 million a year payment in lieu of taxes on top of the small amount, the $4 million or so they're already paying, they would save $39 million a year, $1.5 billion over the 40-year life of the deal. So it would be a significant break. Now the question becomes, though, after that, if they pay that $14 million, and that's an estimate, will it be enough to provide the additional educational needs? And that's built into the law. It probably should, but will it be enough for police and fire services and inspections and all the other things that the municipal government has to do?
And that's independent of the infrastructure improvements that the team wants the state to pay for around a new stadium.
Right. There's a figure thrown out about $855 million in infrastructure. It comes to about $2.3 billion total in assistance, basically, that they're giving the Bears. It's a subsidy. So the question is, though, whether if they don't pay enough to provide the additional services, will the taxpayers have to pick up, the people that are there already, pick up the slack and pay more? And the other question is, how does this expand the tax base if you're going to give just enough, let's say, even if it does, you want these developments to expand the tax base. And where it gets really tricky is this bill isn't just about the Bears. In some ways, the Bears are the tip of the iceberg.
Because it could involve several other stadiums.
And much more, well, not just stadiums, but mega projects. The One Central, the massive mixed-use development to the south here.
I got to ask you about property taxes, too, because a lot of people think, oh, well, this bill could offer some property tax relief to homeowners, especially around the stadium site, many of whom just got hammered with just massive increases in their property tax bills. But the way it's written right now is that's not necessarily the case. It would offer some relief, about $300 or less, to those who live in Arlington Heights, let's say, but negligible amounts, really, to anyone else.
And it's about $280 if you dole out those breaks evenly among the homeowners in Arlington Heights. That's about 3.3% of the bill. And their statewide component is $1 and some change in relief, which, won't even get you to McDonald's.
So I have to ask you, I told you this was going to go fast. So overall, quick answer, thumbs up or thumbs down for taxpayers?
I think all of these questions have to be answered. And I don't think it's a great deal, but if it's an adequate deal, maybe it's okay. but I'm not going to, I think the reason for the study was to make the legislature face these questions that are still out there. And it also gives sales tax breaks and other things. So where are you expanding the tax base? We need to expand the tax base to make, we have the second highest residential property taxes in the nation. We got to do something about that.
Yeah. I know this study can be found on the Treasurer's website.
Yeah.
And Hal Dardick, time purposes, we really appreciate you being here. We just skimmed the surface, but thank you so much, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for having me.